Howdy again, folks. This is another cooking video, and this time it is one of my favorites, Caribbean chicken. And this is the first recipe I learned to cook. Right out of college, I couldn't cook anything, and I wanted to entertain some ladies and be able to impress them with some food. And apparently popcorn and beer, while great with the co-eds, wasn't going to cut it in the real world. So Mom to the rescue, and she gave me this recipe, Caribbean chicken, and it has served me well. I have enjoyed it for years. Unfortunately, it was the only recipe I could cook for about 20 years, but it did serve its purpose. So here we go, Caribbean chicken. So the first thing we're going to do is mix up a special spice blend just for this recipe. And it's going to take a teaspoon of white pepper, some salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and black pepper, and a little bit of ginger. Mix that all together because that's what we're going to rub into the chicken or sprinkle on the chicken before we brown it. So now let's go ahead and prepare some chicken. You can use boneless, skinless chicken breasts and chicken thighs if you like, or you can use skin on. It's up to you. I prefer a little bit of both. I like the white meat without the bone and without the skin, but I prefer it with the dark meat. So we're going to wash that up and trim off all of the fat that we can, and then season it with the seasoning spice that we made up earlier. Careful how much you use here because the spice can get pretty hot. Put on a liberal amount, but don't dredge it in the spice or you'll find it too hot. The next step is to prepare a red onion. Just chop it up, and a little bit of garlic. Get those ready and put them aside. And then after we've seasoned the chicken, we're going to brown it in a skillet. A little bit of butter or a little bit of oil. Just brown it. We're not really cooking it. And then put those aside into a stock pot or a Dutch oven, whatever you've got. And we're going to begin making the sauce. Now, we've got the skillet from the browning of the chicken. Don't clean that skillet at this point. We're going to add the onion and the garlic to that and saute it until it's limp and ready to go. And now add in the pineapple chunks and the chicken broth to the onion mix and let that simmer for a minute or two until it's thoroughly mixed. You're just really warming it up at this point. You're not really thoroughly cooking it. And then pour it over the chicken in the Dutch oven and cover it and bake at 350 for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So now we've got it out of the oven. It's been an hour, hour and a half. We want to thicken the dish a little bit. So make up a slurry, a little bit of flour, a little bit of water, or you can use cornstarch and water, or you can use a roux. Any of those will work. Mix those into the pot and thicken that gravy just enough so it's not watery. It coats the back of a spoon and it'll make it presentation and taste wise, it'll be fantastic. Throw it back in the oven for a little while and take the top off. Let it simmer down a little bit and you're going to have a fantastic meal. So while all that has been cooking, you've been cooking some white rice on the side. Now everything is ready to go. Plate it with some white rice, the Caribbean chicken, garnish it with a little bit of parsley or whatever you've got, and bon appetit. Folks are going to be really impressed, and it is so tasty.